Hey guys, how's it going? Pawinning here and welcome back to the channel. It is awesome to have you guys here for another DIY technical video. So for those of you who don't know the current mods on my 2017 Honda Civic Si sedan, for the past year or so I've only really done a QD Instruments shifter mods, which includes their cable bushings, a full shifter assembly at this point, some LED lighting from Envision Motorsport, and some minor cosmetic mods here and there. So after 36,000 miles of happy ownership, it is time to up the mod game a little bit and start experimenting with new aftermarket parts. So with great timing, TurboXS hit me up last week to see if I was interested in trying out their new hybrid blow-off valve for my car. What piqued my interest about this blow-off valve was that by design, it is supposed to vent 50% of the air back into the intake system and then vent the rest of the air into the atmosphere, creating that iconic that a lot of car enthusiasts like to hear with turbocharged applications. Now, I'm not a professional engineer, I'm not a professional tech, nor am I a good tuner at all, but I understand that this mod is strictly for the sound. There is no performance gains that you will get from this mod. I'm actually going to pull up a sentence from their website here about this blow-off valve. The design is an exercise of function aesthetic. To me, that just means that this part just sounds really cool. Now, in addition to those statements, they say that the recirculated air is supposed to keep the ECU happy. I'm not sure to what extent happiness goes to an ECU in terms of making sure that it performs correctly. They also state that it's supposed to keep the car check engine light free. So to evaluate the actual design of this product, I do enjoy the black anodized finish. I chose this color because I wanted it to resemble closer to stock, although I don't really know why I did that because it's clearly not going to sound stock. But there are three other colors available: red, blue, and silver. I actually do like the screw top mechanism. It's designed so that you can easily remove this cap and extract the spring. And on the bottom, you can clearly see how they profiled the channels of this blow-off valve so that it could recirculate back through the stock intake system, as well as vent to atmosphere in the surrounding vent ports around the actual blow-off valve. The stainless steel fittings and hardware that are supplied with this blow-off valve are seemingly robust, more so than some parts that I've received in the past, like from CX Racing, to be honest. In addition to that, they supply you with a silicone tube, which is also really thick. I'm not sure why they didn't use hose clamps, but they supplied zip ties, which should hold just fine on top of this barbed fitting and seemingly well on the stock intake air tube that attaches to this tube. So to remove the stock blow-off valve, you're going to need an 8mm socket on a ratchet wrench. I recommend using a short socket because clearances are a little bit tight. To install the new screws, you're going to need a 5mm Allen head socket, but overall I anticipate this should be fairly straightforward, so let's dive right into it. To begin this project, I first popped open my hood, then located the stock recirculating valve. Following the vacuum hose up from the valve, I used a pair of pliers to remove the top hose clamp, then pulled the hose off of its air tube. To remove the stock recirculating valve, I unfastened the three surrounding 8mm hex screws. Now I decided to install the supplied vacuum hose on the top air fitting on the new hybrid blow-off valve, securing it with a zip tie. When installing the new blow-off valve, I made sure that the machined ports on the bottom of the blow-off valve match up to the factory location as shown. Next, I installed the three Allen screws to mount the blow-off valve. Due to small clearances, I had to use a 6-inch extension to tighten the screws down. These screws only need to be hand tight. I slipped the other end of the new vacuum line on the factory air tube and then secured the connection with a zip tie. And finally, I trimmed the excess material on the zip ties. God, that thing sounds good. I'll be honest, I am a fan of the way this thing sounds. It's not obnoxious. It's very subtle. It's loud enough that people will notice, but it's not obnoxiously loud that after a while of driving, you would eventually get annoyed by it if you were driving to and from work every day. So overall, 10 out of 10 on the sound quality. You'll definitely turn heads installing this part, despite the fact that you're not really getting any performance gains, but really that's what this part was made to do. This part isn't for the die-hard car enthusiast that's looking to extract every little bit of power out of his or her engine in the car. This part is meant to be installed in the car belonging to the guy or gal that wants to be loud and proud. So to address the reliability of this part, I really haven't seen any concern so far. Like, I have yet to see a significant decrease in fuel economy. The car seems to be running okay. With the 600 miles that I've already put on this part, I haven't had a check engine light pop up anywhere. So if you've already installed a couple bolt-on mods on your Civic and you've tried tuning with hybrid or fully vent atmosphere blow-off valves, feel free to leave your input below, because I will be installing bolt-on mods myself gradually, because this car is my daily driver. So any sort of input you guys can provide me will help me make a better informed decision on the future mods for this car. Alright guys, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to the channel and also leaving a like on this video as well. And also don't forget to check me out on social media as well to stay even more up to date with all my content. That being said, my name is Pawinning, and I will catch you guys in the next DIY tech video. Bye.